Emmanuel Mwamba. Your Excellency, thank you very much for joining us, and I appreciate you making time this evening. The Barotseland issue, let's just quickly deal with what the two gentlemen that I hosted were raising.
Oh, first of all, they expressed a lot of ignorance even about our own history. This is a non-issue for us. It's a non-matter. Zambia is a sovereign, independent, indivisible, unitary state. And it has been so. There were various mining agreements that were signed in the 1890s. You all know Cecil Rhodes.
Yes.
He was a precursor to the colonial ventures into Southern and Central Africa. And he signed some colonial agreements, mining and mineral exploration in Southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, in Barotseland, the so-called protectorates. There was a protectorate in Mashonaland. Are you going to say it should secede and become its own country? There was a protectorate in Matebeleland. Would you say it should become a protectorate? There were similar protectorates like the one in Uganda. These were based on mine exploration rights. And remember, they were signed by a commercial company called British South African Company, then BSA, pioneered by Cecil Rhodes. At independence, remember, if you were separate countries, like Tanzania and Zanzibar were, you form some form of federation, or like maybe Nigeria, you form some form of federation. It's never been like that for us. We've been a unitary state, pre-colonial, colonial, and after independence, we've been one state.
Are they suppressed, as they're saying? They're saying the army is in the region, in the Western Province, and school children are being raped, and, you know.
It's regrettable that a Zambian can come to an international platform and claim things that don't exist. It is regrettable that a Zambian can speak against his own country. These young men, I call them misguided. I invite them to my office, let them come and we discuss.
Okay.
This has never been a matter anywhere. And remnants of it, the Barotseland Agreement, were settled by constitutional referendum in 1969. So for someone, first of all, they are calling for secession. The Barotseland Agreement has nothing to do with even an independent country. Totally misguided. Okay. I invite them not to come to your studios, but to come and see us.
Okay, let's leave them. But can you also clarify with the minister back in Zambia that I am not calling for violence in Zambia?
Your leading questions probably raised a lot of concern because, you know, SADC is at peace. We've never had this long peace for a long time. Okay. Our country is a pioneer of peace. Lusaka is known as a place of treaty for peace. So, you know, we get concerned when there appears like feelings of divisions are being fueled against our country that has helped bring, you know, a freedom to many countries in the region.
And we owe
I will tell Honorable Doris Leah
that I'm a good man. And indeed, we owe a lot to Zambia for our liberation as Southern Africa.
Indeed, thank you.
Your Excellency, the BRICS summit was held here in South Africa, in Johannesburg, but there was the BRICS outreach. This is where I want us to go, because I saw your president, and back home, it wasn't even said that he's coming to South Africa for BRICS. They said President Lungu to meet President Putin in Johannesburg.
Yeah, the bigger the personality, the bigger the news. You know how you news people love it. Yeah. But however, we're privileged that the chairperson of the BRICS summit, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, extended this summit to what he called BRICS outreach.
Yes.
So he invited various regional leaders. So he invited, for example, from East Africa, President Yoweri Museveni, because he's a chair of the community in East Africa. Mm-hmm. He invited Gabon, which is a chair of Central African states. He invited Senegal, chair of NEPAD. He invited West Africa, chair of ECOWAS. He invited Egypt, which is chair of the G77. He invited our president in his capacity as incoming chair of the SADC organ.
Okay.
But he also invited the incoming chair of SADC. Remember, President Cyril Ramaphosa is still chair.
Yes.
But Namibia is coming as chair. So he invited Namibia as well. And the current incoming organ of SADC, Angola. Then the invitation then was extended to all SADC member states.
Okay.
We applaud President Cyril Ramaphosa for this. I think we appreciate that South Africa's presence in these big multilateral institutions is representative of Africa. And that was a show and demonstrative of that presence.
How much of business are we, and by we I'm talking about South Africa, doing with Zambia?
Zambia is South Africa's largest regional trading partner. Okay. And for us, again, South Africa is our largest trading partner. South Africa is very, very key to us. If you see the movement of our people, the movement of goods and services between the country is quite high. We have over 100 companies trading in Zambia, and there is a volume of trade of about $3.8 billion trade volumes between the two countries. Okay. So we have a special place. Other than our historical ties, yes, we are glad that this relationship has now gone through investment and trade.
But how easy is it for Mpo to go and open a business in Zambia? Because it is very easy for a Mwamba Piri to come and open a business in Hillbrow.
No, in fact, it's the other way around. Your environment is a bit actually more restrictive than Zambia. In Zambia, you can come to our country tomorrow and open a company. If you look at the indices for ease of doing business, yes, Zambia is ranked among the top ones. It's very easy to open your business account, register your company, register with our tax and revenue authority. It is very easy to do your business.
So, because what I'm trying to find out here is, are our relations balanced, or are you getting more out of this relationship than we are getting out of Zambia?
Yeah, of course there is a concern because the trading is skewed in favor of South Africa up to the extent of 90%. Wow. That's why we welcome these initiatives for ourselves to develop, industrialize, encourage, for example, South African companies to locate some of their manufacturing entities into our country so that the balance of trade is more even. Then we've also at state-to-state level, through a binational commission that will be signed by our two heads of state, encouraging also movement of goods from Zambia to be allowed to be traded in South Africa in a good environment, though we allow South African goods to trade in Zambia.
Yeah, because one of the disadvantages amongst African states is that you don't open your markets for one another, but you're very quick to open for China.
It's a matter of concern, in fact, at African Union level, at SADC level, because Africa is trading with the rest, with ourselves, only 12%. Then we are trading with the rest of the world up to 88%. Yes. So it means we are externalizing wealth, we are externalizing jobs and skills. Yes. So unless we trade amongst ourselves, then we'll help industrialize and keep the wealth and jobs on our continent. It is for this reason that our heads of state at African level are pushing for the free trade area. Yes. This is to enable Africa to trade with itself more than it trades with the rest of the world.
What opportunities lie for an African, or rather for a South African investor in Zambia?
Oh, huge. Like I stated, over 100 companies are in Zambia trading. They are our biggest ambassadors, actually. We have companies that have been there for more than 20 years, like ShopRite. The large ones like MTN are part of the fabric of our economy. Yes. They are large employers, they participate in paying taxes, and they're good corporate citizens. And South Africa has been good for them in the region, for their exploration in the region. Zambia offers a vibrant environment. Also farming. remember our economy is diversified.
Yes.
Because we are a mineral-dependent country.
Yes, and those
Copper,
minerals
cobalt.
are going to run dry.
His Excellency the President Lungu has said we need to diversify. And now we are diversifying more to agriculture, more to tourism, more to manufacturing. What was hindering all this was lack of infrastructure. So if you see the last 5 years, there was this huge push for us to build roads, rail, ports, airports, harbors, just to ensure that our country is opened up. And also, especially in the energy sector, that's why we're calling more investment, so that we can be energy secure for ourselves as a country and for our region. Remember, Zambia sits at the heart of Southern Africa.
Yes.
We are surrounded by 8 countries, and we think that we can take advantage of our location.
I have a problem with you. The transport infrastructure is not up to the what millennium is this? Whatever millennium we're living in. And that, I think, is a disadvantage to a lot of potential business that could happen either between South Africa and Zambia, or even in the region, like you're saying. I mean, countries like Congo are there on your borders, and you are basically the gateway. But transport infrastructure is a problem.
That's why I stated that it was identified as such, that we needed to open our country both to the rural areas, but also to our neighboring states. And there's been a huge drive. If you come to Zambia now, you probably get lost, because you'll have a good drive in areas that will take you 10 hours. You're taking up to only 4 hours, because there's a good network from Lusaka to any part of our country. There's a good rail network. And we think that as government, we're enablers for investment, and it's our duty that we should drive the infrastructure that we've been doing.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for the time, and I really appreciate you making time to come.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Well, that was Zambia's High Commissioner to South Africa, His Excellency Emmanuel Mwamba.